Welcome back to Parking Lot Takes. That's Brandon, and I'm Christian.
The greatest episode of Star Wars television might have just ended, but the conversation just started. And I'm talking about Andor Season 2, Episode 8. What do you think about that statement, sir? Should we just get right into this?
Yeah.
Let that mull over for a minute. Because I have a lot that I want to say about it.
Yeah,
we just watched the last 3 episodes of Andor. We're going to give you our thoughts on it. There's a lot to talk about here. But here's what I will say. Christian, I would sell my left nut to watch Andor Season 2, Episode 8 again for the first time. It's that freaking good. This is the greatest episode of Star Wars television I think we have ever gotten. I was blown away. I thought Episode 7 was fine. It's a good episode, setting a lot up. We've been building to Gorman and this moment between the rebellion and that's kind of forming in Gorman. And I think Episode 8 is the perfect culmination to all that we've been building to. I think the tension is there. I think the action is there. I think the cinematography is there. I think Tony Gilroy has such an attention to detail about little Star Wars things that just add to the immersion of this episode. And it's noticeable, like with the TIE fighters flying over and they cut to it and it's just very subtle. It's just to add tension. It's just to add this authoritative nature that the Empire's there and what they're building to. And it's all just so freaking good. I bawled my eyes out.
You're not going to talk about 7 at all?
I don't have a lot to say about 7, to be honest. I think 7 is good episode. I think I'm more just blown away by 8. You talk a little bit about 7 then. And then we can talk a little bit about 9.
Yeah, I mean, I think in 7, because there's a year time gap, they do some things and they introduce a couple of things and they just don't explain them. One of them being like do we know where the blaster burns from? I tried to look for it like on the internet in the previous and in a couple of the other arcs, and I don't know where it's from.
So
unless it's,
I think it's just maybe
it might be from the
mission.
First 3 episodes. But it's been a year, it hasn't healed.
I thought maybe it was from a mission he just came off of.
Maybe
because the time
I guess
has
I just
passed.
didn't gather that. I guess but that was one of them. But I didn't notice that. But there was another with Cyril. Mm-hmm. And the Gormans don't like him anymore. In the first episode, she slaps him.
Yeah.
We never saw that fall out.
That's a good question. I'm trying to think through the last episodes. He's never necessarily like, it's not ever presented that he is like fully on their side, or they don't ever, I don't think, let me rephrase this. I don't think it's ever perceived that they think he's fully on their side. He's just this kind of oddball wild card that's imperial but curious. So I never thought that specifically like the main leader, I can't remember his name, but the older guy, I don't think it was ever implied that he thinks he's fully on their side. There's moments where he talks about, we've got a man on the inside, things like that. But I don't think they're ever like, he's fully there. I think they've always been skeptical.
That's your justification for one episode arc. They're bringing him in. They're talking to him. They're like, he's an asset. We can use him to the next time we see them together, they slap him in the face?
Not necessarily. I mean, you bring up a good point there, but I'm just saying, like, I guess I didn't notice it enough as such a huge shift, just because in my head I was thinking they were never really fully on board with him. But I do see your point.
I mean, they clearly had some sort of falling
something
out.
In that year span that we just don't see.
Or they don't talk about.
Or yeah, they don't really talk about either. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to remember.
I can't remember if he got shot in the first 3 episodes. Cassian.
Mm-hmm. Well, it wouldn't matter because a lot of time's passed since then.
Yeah, but the point was he couldn't heal. That was like the point they were making.
Yeah, and that's why I thought it might just be a mission that he recently went on because a year has passed. They're in Yavin 4.
I watched that scene with subtitles, and when the first time we see him like messing with it, in the subtitles it says bones crack.
Yeah.
I went, did he shatter his arm?
Yeah.
And then it's like, it's a burn on his back. I'm like, okay, audio, like for the non-audio listener, sound design person, what the frick? Weird thing to focus on.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. That's not a big deal. The force healer thing, interesting.
Yeah.
I liked that. I liked him getting ready to go and wanted to make something happen.
Yeah.
I really liked when he was leaving. And then he's like, the day I can't
go where I want to go is the day I'm gone.
The day I'm gone. The day I can't come and go is the day I'm gone.
And then he says, the rebel leader, I can't remember his name, he says, that day's coming soon. Mm-hmm. Then he goes away. It's like, interesting.
And that was the ship from Rogue One.
Yes.
That they were flying.
Yep.
That was cool.
And because they're building this narrative with Cassian that he wants to be gone, but they feel like they need him to be a leader. So they pose this kind of dichotomy, this conflict in Cassian. So that's kind of where you see kind of the start of that. Obviously, episode 9, we see some of the culmination of it. But there's good little moments in 7 that are setting up some of what we see come to fruition in 8 and 9. And some good moments. But like I said, I don't have like a lot to say about it. Is there anything else that you noticed in episode 7?
I really liked it. I liked him and Bix in that episode. I really like Bix as a character.
They're just really nailing Bix.
And this could be such a little thing, and this is maybe getting into 8, but it's just because like I don't think I'm going to remember it because it's such a small thing. But I would like to see how these people get off these planets. Because in episode 8, like, don't you think Cassian getting off Gorman should be kind of an event?
I did think about that because that whole sequence is so intense. Like, you got to be getting off. Or you mean 9? Oh, no, you mean in 8. Oh, I see what you're saying.
But it's going to apply to a 9 as well. They do the same thing in 9.
I was thinking at 9. Yeah. That's what made me think of that. But, yeah, you would think it would be a very difficult event for him to get off specifically because Cyril says there's an armada up there.
Which I think blockade.
That's what I thought too.
I think we're getting to like a blockade, conversation.
Yeah, because they're preparing.
They're not going to let anyone leave.
Them in. Yeah.
They're not letting anybody leave.
Mm-hmm. And throughout Star Wars at different times, right? They have to like find the Imperial codes to get past the blockade, right? Like they do that in the movies. So they do skip over a lot of that. I mean, you would probably bog down a lot if they did that, getting on and off these planets. I guess you could kind of add in, because Cassian's like a spy, he knows his way around the blockades, things like that. He can kind of slither in and out. I think you could maybe make that assumption.
I hate adding so much context when you just don't see something.
Yeah, but I think if you saw it, it would bog it down a lot, because they leave and come and go a lot.
Disagree.
In the movies...
3-minute scene, 1 line.
Are you just going to over and over and over again say, let's get some new Imperial codes?
In the season of the show.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine.
And then I can think every time they have the Imperial codes to get by blockades. So, all right, that makes sense. All right, I'm good with that.
Mm-hmm.
Do it once.
Because they don't really ever do it at all. Yeah.
One of the things that just absolutely gets my goat, join the Discord.
Gets my goat going.
Dude, it bothers me so much. Like, we posted that clip where I'm like, Dedra's 20.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, she probably doesn't see the Empire and the Rebellion as different. They're probably the same. And I'm like, the amount of backflips you're doing to explain a very poorly written moment.
Yeah.
Make her 13. Problem solved.
Yeah.
And the fact that that's not touched on in this episode, and like how I know it's not going to get touched on again because of the events of this arc.
Yeah.
Yeah, not on purpose. Stop acting like it's on purpose.
True.
Someone said gravity's bigger, there's more gravity on other planets.
Yeah, so ages you faster.
Yeah, I mean, cool. Yeah, you're right, maybe. What a fun time to add that into Star Wars and not explain it.
Not explain it at all.
Great thought.
So that adds context. Yeah. That's funny.
And then they're like, well, that's what happened to Obi-Wan. Well, what about freaking Luke? Why does Anakin not look 37 at 9 years old?
Why don't all of them look that way? Yeah.
What do you mean? Why don't they all have back problems and scoliosis?
I don't know.
Drives me
Star
nuts.
Wars.
It's like, look, it's one freaking line. Like, we can't admit, maybe they changed the line. No, we have to bend over backwards to find some way to explain it in this mind of a character that none of these people are.
Yeah.
So how would you know?
Yeah.
I think, honestly, I just don't even understand she probably sees the Republic and the Empire is the same. What?
Yeah, that doesn't really explain anything.
You're also admitting that as a 3-year-old, I mean, they dissolved the Republic and made it an empire. They did not go back and take everything back then was the empire. I just don't.
Yeah.
They might have bending over backwards to. So when people like bend over backwards to explain things, it's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, cool. You could be right. My complaint is not that I can't make sense of it. It's that it's not explained in the show.
Yeah.
Anyway, what the frick were we talking about? Yeah. So like, I would like to see. Sometimes I feel like I'm like, oh, we're on a different planet. Mm-hmm. Oh, I thought getting off this planet was going to be hard.
Yeah.
And I find that stuff interesting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would too. Yeah. It doesn't bother me not to see it, but I do see the point of getting off Gorman specifically, and in 9 as well, would probably be very difficult because everybody's out to get these characters. So for them to kind of weave their way out would be interesting. Mm-hmm. You know, because like I said, we do see it in the movies. You know, they're narrowly escaping the Empire and getting into light speed. So it happens, but just not in Andor.
Yeah, in Andor they just sail right through every time.
Yeah. But he's a spy. He can sneak through, Christian. He can slither his way across the blockades, man. He's the best.
Sure, but they're not letting people leave that planet. They're not letting people leave the Times Square.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think they're going to let anybody leave.
He scrambled the TIE fighters, dude, and he got off planet.
That would be cool if he took the interceptor thing he stole.
That would be sick. And just use the codes built into the interceptor.
That would... Oh, wow. What a plot point. Yeah, why did he steal that? Do we know? Why they stole that ship in the first place?
Oh my gosh, that never went anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's an experimental...
TIE fighter. That would have been so smart.
Because he was passing it off to the pilot. But that's not even on Gorman, right?
No, that's on Yevon.
I bet you it comes up later.
Okay.
I bet you it does.
Because I was...
Did he land on Yavin 4?
Yeah. In the first 3?
So I bet you it's in the base then. We got 3 more episodes.
Sure.
So I bet you they circle around and use it for something cool. That would be neat.
Yeah. Episode 8. Episode 8. Well, I've been critical of this show from the get-go.
Yeah.
I feel terrible about it. I watched Andor season 1 and was like, yeah, it's all right. It's cool. And I felt like everybody was like, this is God's gift to Star Wars. I just didn't feel that way. Rewatched it. I liked it more the second time around than I did the first time.
Yeah.
I recognize all the things people like about it. I still have the same complaints. I think it meanders. I think it's slow. A lot of people are saying about this season, I feel I feel very heavily in the first season. I feel like the first season's long-winded, specifically because the events in between the 3-episode arcs are not time jumps. Because they're back to back to back to back. It's kind of like, okay. But I have an open mind. But I just did not understand Andor being put over the best Star Wars, the movies, honestly, over Clone Wars, which we talked about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about Clone Wars and might only have Andor for nostalgia. Episode 8 might be the best Star Wars project of all time.
Let's go.
Episode 8 might be better than A New Hope and Empire on its own.
Dude, I'm willing to have that conversation. I'm going to be honest with you.
It is executed on a masterclass level. I honestly that those 3 arcs is the best. The episodes Andor season 2 episodes 7, 8 and 9 is the best Star Wars movie.
I love that take.
That is the best Star Wars movie in the franchise.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It is not the best representation of Star Wars.
Yeah. I think, yes, I still stand by that.
But it is the best.
It is the best.
But it is not the best representation. I do think it is the highest quality of writing, directing, set design, sound design, acting in the entire franchise.
Yeah. Across the board.
Yeah, I don't give a rip that Tony Gilroy doesn't really like Star Wars, I guess. Yeah. I want him to do everything now.
Yeah.
I want him to do every Star Wars project.
Yes, I'm with you.
I'm saddened because I don't think he cares to.
Yeah.
It is I get it. Mm-hmm. I am with you. Tony Gilroy in episode 8 made me bump Andor season 1 from a 7 to a 9. Mm-hmm. And I've been liking this season a lot. Because of what he does in that second season, I immediately just love all of the character development in 1.
Yeah.
For very specific reasons. Cassian is still very selfish in this season.
Yes.
And I thought he had this full-on arc in season 1 that I just didn't buy. I'm wrong. He didn't. He doesn't really have this huge character arc. He's still very selfish and self-serving. I love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I had that complaint. That was my complaint about season 1. Was like I didn't buy any of the character development. I didn't understand how he became this good guy who cared. He didn't.
Yeah.
And I like that.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I loved it for that. Tony Gilroy took the most annoying character in Star Wars to me, Cyril, and made me give such a crap that I cried when he died.
Yes.
And I was so sad that he died.
Yeah.
And I was heartbroken to see him lower that gun to get shot in the head.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
And that was a fun little view into their kinky sex. Little choke thing. Yeah. I'm like, this was done.
Yeah, did you think she was kind of into that?
You've practiced this.
Yeah, this was not the first time.
You seem comfortable.
Yeah. Because right after she was like, we're going to be heroes, we can go back. And in my head, all I was thinking was, she was like, you can do this again on Coruscant.
Oh, no. Dude, I mean, it was all the stakes.
It flipped Cyril upside down for me. Up to this point, I was like, Cyril is just this weird character that's kind of in this like awkward place between like Daedra and the Empire and doing what he's trying to do and make his way, and he doesn't like Cassian. Like, it's just this weird character. And then because all of this kind of culminates in episode 8, it completely flips it upside down because he feels betrayed by Dedra. Cassian's there. He's finally coming to the realization of what the Empire is doing, and he's not on board with it. And the moment he's walking out into the crowd, the specifically the shot where he's just standing there, and it's quiet, but you can hear like blaster fire, and he's kind of reacting subtly to it, and everybody's just getting shot around him. It's just such a good scene for his character. Like, everything that he's been working towards, all the promotions, everything, it just doesn't matter. He's just a pawn in all of this game. They could care less. And it just made me care just in that moment so much enough that when he does die, I'm like heartbroken. I'm like, oh, I wasn't ready because I just finally bought into this character and thought, oh, I like him now. And then they shoot him. And I'm like, ugh. But it's so good that they did it that way. Can we talk about the scene where he fights Cassian?
Real quick.
Go ahead.
The character development. The way they wrote that Cyril's, the way Tony Gilroy wrote Cyril's character through that whole season is just, I'm mind blown. I started the first season.
I'm mind blown now.
Yes, but I hated it. I hated him. I didn't understand why he was sticking around. I just couldn't stand his character. Then we got into episode 3, and I said, cool, he's going to flip. Yeah. That's interesting. Mm-hmm. That's interesting. I like that. And then, no, he's a double agent.
He's a double agent.
And I thought, even better.
Yeah.
I like it. Stick to what he does. Make him a little bit cooler as a double agent. Cool. Mm-hmm. And then he flips, and I'm like, yes. Like I just like I went so back and forth on the whole thing. I don't know. I was
in the
impressed.
Best way.
Yeah, because I liked it.
The fact that he's kind of sticking with what he's been doing is trying to get the promotions. He's doing the double agent. He's trying to be loyal to Dedra. Like, he's trying to do that. I was like, oh, that's cool. That's interesting. But in this moment, for it to be so heinous and so awful what the Empire's doing, for him to still come to this realization of like, oh crap, like this is awful. I can't be a part of this. And that's why he walks out on Dedra. I'm like, that just is such a good moment because it shows the Empire is going too far, even for Cyril, who is willing to be the double agent, double cross people in the rebellion, rat on them to get that promotion, to go
he's
back
buying
and be
all the propaganda.
Absolutely.
That's the first time I'm seeing that. Is that maybe it was obvious, but the first time I'm seeing that Cyril eats into all of the propaganda.
Absolutely, and he's willing to be the double agent because he does.
Right.
But the Empire goes so far in episode 8 that he's like, I can't even get behind this. Like, Dedra's known. I'm realizing I'm just this pawn in a game of chess that nobody cares. They don't even really care. Dedra didn't care enough to tell me about it, and she's known about it for a long time. So it just makes him sticking to his guns even better because it makes it such a heartbreaking moment for him as a character when he realizes it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, the fight, that's my one complaint.
What? Why? That fight is shot so well.
No, absolutely.
It's
just a trope in general where I'm like, I either need Cassian. I need Cassian to take like a concussion grenade for me to understand how Cyril could beat him up that badly in the beginning and control the fight for as long as he did. That's my only weird. It's a nitpick for all nitpicks. I'm agreeing.
Yeah, because I don't.
But it's a consistent thing in the industry where it's like, okay, Cassian is a scrappy. He grew up in a tribe on another planet. Then he moved and became a street rat.
Yeah,
and now he's a rebellion. He's been in the rebellion.
Yeah.
Maybe he gets a surprise hit on him, but like I believe Cassian should have ground control and not like. It's just, to me, it's plot armor that Cassian didn't, like, there's no way Cyril could body him for as long as he did. Like, the fact that Cassian doesn't really stop him at all. Because he takes the bomb through the window, and then he gets shot in the head. Like,
he stops him.
He punches him in the face, sure.
He lands 3 big hits.
That's
Cyril's
so funny
down.
that you just said 3 when Cyril landed like 7 or 8.
No, I just mean there's...
No. I know what you're talking about.
There's that moment, right?
Yeah.
Where he gets him, and then he gets him the uppercut, like that third punch. So I was like, oh, Cassian has the upper hand.
Cassian
then the bomb happens.
Gets the upper hand for sure. I'm not I'm not saying... It's just kind of in the beginning when Cyril tackles him. I'm like, cool. And then he starts slamming his head on the ground. And I'm like...
That's a surprise.
No, then there's a punch. No. Then there's a punch. Then there's the slamming the head. Then there's another punch. Then there's an uppercut.
Cassian's still off balance.
Once Cassian stand up, it should be over.
I just don't... I think that's weak. I don't think that's...
I'm giving you that.
I just don't like...
I just don't like it in general when like... to me it's like but
no, I know what you're talking about.
They long a fight, I think longer than it should go.
Just for the sake of choreography.
Just for the sake of like wanting to do the thing where Cyril gets the gun,
gets the upper hand, shoots him.
Right.
Or dies.
Yeah. Like and I think it is one of those things where I'm like, I just think sure it's a surprise, sure. I would think Cassian has dealt with that crap over and over and over again, whereas I feel like Cyril probably not. But it's just one of those things. And it's something that bothers me across everything. So it was going to bother me here. Mm-hmm. I haven't docked anything. I've donked anything off. It's just like the one tiniest thing where I think like, yeah, I mean, I guess it's a surprise, but like, would I have rather maybe Cassian been on like the side swiped by an explosion and then like get up and have his ears ringing and then Cyril grabs him and then I'm like, okay, well he's been rocked.
Yeah.
Not tackled to the ground and punched in the face. I think that happens to Cassian every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So.
I just didn't bother me at all.
Oh, it's a visceral fight.
I think it's like Tony Gilroy can direct action. Like he can choreograph fights well. And that moment, like, it's just so immersive because, like, you're hearing, like, all the gunfire in the background. Like, there's so much happening behind them fighting. And the shot of them just, like, the back and forth, I just felt the punches landing. The freaking grenade, like, blowing in the window. Like, all of it. I was just like, this is visceral. Like, this is really good action right here. It's some of the best I feel like I've seen in the show so far, just in like a hand-to-hand fight. I was just like, it's so good. And what a way for Cyril to go out. I will say, kind of to your point, I kind of wish Cyril didn't die the way he did. And maybe it's to your point, kind of tropey. Like, because I know Cassian lives, as soon as he had the upper hand, I knew he was going to get domed from somebody. So I was like, I almost wish it was a little bit more creative, but I still felt the moment. Then when they cut to who it was, I was like, oh, that's interesting.
See, as soon as Cyril was controlling the fight, I felt like I knew, okay, so, yeah, Cyril's going to die.
He's going to eat it.
Because they're not going to kill him if Cassian has the upper hand.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So to me, once he was starting to body, like,
you're like, he's going to get the upper hand.
Yeah.
And then, boom, twist.
Right.
He actually dies.
That's the only reason I felt that fight happened that way.
Honestly, it didn't bother me, but I could see why you would think that because that is a big trope in movies.
Yeah.
And television. They do it a lot.
So it was just, it just bothers me when they do it.
I just didn't care because I thought the fight was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
It looks so good.
It's really good.
It's so good. Oh, man.
It's really, really good. I just wish that had been like some Imperial officer or something crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, people are going to be like, Cyril was on the police, but like 5 years ago.
Probably has some
5 years ago, now he's an office job.
Yeah. And he's been in office job for a while.
Right, and it's still not Cassian growing up in the streets than being on the rebellion.
And fighting regularly.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Do you feel like the stormtroopers were a little more menacing in this?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it brought kind of... Yeah. Here's what I thought. I thought it made the stormtroopers and the Empire not feel like just cannon fodder and actually feel like intimidating. They had an intimidating presence to me.
Yeah.
Like when the stormtroopers were rolling in, I'm like, oh, shoot. That's crazy. I kind of felt the weight of that. And I thought that was cool because I feel like to the movie's detriment, sometimes they are just kind of like bumbling idiots and they can't hit anything. Everybody talks about that. But in this show and this episode specifically, I felt their authority a lot more, and I liked it.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's such a good episode.
It's fantastic. It's insane.
It's genuinely,
it makes the whole show better.
It absolutely does. All of the development, specifically for Cyril, for Dedra.
Do first season.
So much better.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm ready.
Because going back to, like, yeah, I mean, to your point, if I were to go back and watch season 1, knowing what these characters are going to ultimately come to, it's going to make all of the Cyril moments, I think, feel better. It's going to make the Dedra moments at times where I was kind of like annoyed by her in season 1 feel better. Cassian, all of them. So we're starting to kind of just overall make this entire story just feel a lot more cohesive. There's a purpose to all of it. Now I'm just seeing like Tony Gilroy's plan for it all from the beginning, and it just, you're right, it makes it so much better.
Yeah. First 6 episodes, I wasn't ready to be like, yeah, this is better than A New Hope. I would give, if you could isolate 7, 8, and 9, I would give it. I would totally give it.
That's 3 hours of.
That's less. I mean, it's like 2 hours, 2:30. So I mean, I think it's the best Star Wars movie. Someone please edit it together.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be sick.
The Gorman Massacre. It's mentioned a few times throughout the lore, throughout the franchise, in the New Hope novelization, and in some, I think, the Rebels show. Wow. Did you feel like you knew what was going on right away? I felt like I kind of found out with some of the people, which felt cool.
Yes.
From a watching perspective.
Absolutely.
Like I mean, obviously I knew they were wanting a resistance, but I guess like I just wasn't putting together, you know, that's what was going to happen. So I had that realization in this episode too. So I'm like sitting there, I'm like, okay, interesting. So they're going to incite the crowd and commit genocide, and but I wasn't connecting that that was the excuse for the Empire to take control.
Suppress them. Yes, I didn't either. I'm with you.
I feel like I might have missed that because of the plan. I mean, obviously someone's going to be like, obviously I knew it because of when she tells, what's his name? Krennic, yeah. You know, you need a controlled rebellion or something like that. Yeah. I just didn't.
But I never thought about I wasn't inciting that level. Right. Or that very specific moment, though. Yeah. Yeah, because I was definitely piecing that, like, okay, I get it. If there's an uprising of the resistance, then maybe they have an excuse. But I didn't know it was really culminating in that moment for them to put the sniper on the roof, to incite the violence, and then they can say, the rebel insurgency fired on us. We had to go in, because there's that really cool line with the newscaster where like she says the Imperial heroes are coming home or something like that. We're counting the dead or something like that.
Well, before that, there's the newscaster line where they go, Imperial officials have been trying to make peace all day, and it's been rejected.
Been rejected. And I'm like, oh, so that they're using this moment as more propaganda to further the Empire, saying we had to go in and suppress them because they were trying to kill us. Mm-hmm. But I didn't pick up on that very specific plot point until this episode. Like I wasn't predicting it that way. I did think the sniper thing was unique.
Sure.
Not like that crazy interesting, but for them to shoot one of the soldiers.
Yeah, once they said you're green, go out there and like control the situation. I was like, oh, they're gonna kill them.
So I didn't see the sniper thing happening though. I thought.
Oh, I didn't see it being a sniper, but I saw. Okay, these guys are sacrificial lambs to get this
absolutely.
Started. Yeah.
And you can kind of see it on the kind of commanding officer of that riot group. You kind of see it on his face that he knows he's going into not a good scenario.
dude, what did you think about switching this is so random, but I absolutely adored the Gorman people switching the chant from the chant to the song.
Oh, I loved it.
Because I felt like
so much more.
It added so much more, but it also very much de-escalated them as seeming less radical.
Yes.
In that moment. Mm-hmm. So it made it hit even harder that it was it was verging on a very peaceful protest.
Yes.
Yeah. And they de-escalated. So it was chanting and shouting and pointing hands, and then it de-escalates to the song.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, that's masterful.
Yeah. And it escalates when the riot comes back in.
It straight up makes it worse.
Yeah.
And it, worse as in it hits more. Like, it makes what the Empire does just more
worse. More
horrible.
heinous. Yeah, it's
amazing.
When they started singing, because I was starting to piece together that I know this is about to happen. Like, these people are just going to start getting mowed down. Like, it's emotional. Like, I was in tears a couple times in this episode just because of, I think, of how intense it is. Like, you have this episode of built tension, and then with it culminating in such a just awful thing, like, I definitely felt some of the emotion of it. Like, when Cassian's kind of crying on the way out, like, all of that, I was like, dang, this just hits home. And I think you're right. I think by them de-escalating it, it just makes it so much worse as far as what the Empire's doing. Worse for the rebels, worse for all of it. Like, it just made it more emotional, and I'm so glad that they did that. I think.
I was when they started gunning people down in the crowd, I started crying. Yeah. I was very emotional. I mean, it's masterful. Tony Gilroy kills it.
He crushes it.
Tony Gilroy, my goat. I liked Rogue One a lot. So I'd give him that, but it feels weird for me to be like, I love this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I literally wrote down in my notes this week. I saw that interview with Tony Gilroy, and he's like, I think my advantage is I don't really care, for Star Wars too much. I'm not this huge fan. I'm not scared of it. And I said, interesting. Should we be having people who aren't massive fans directing movies? And then I said, absolutely, we should.
Yeah.
Absolutely, this guy gets it.
He gets it. Yeah. I would probably 9 times out of 10 say no. I would say, I don't think if you understand the source material, you shouldn't make these movies. Because I think you have to have some kind of... But in his case, I don't know if he's necessarily saying, I don't care about Star Wars.
He said he's not a Star Wars fan. But that means a lot of things.
Yes. I think he's saying, I have an advantage because I'm not bringing in baggage. Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to tell a good story. And I'm going to use Star Wars as that vehicle. I'm on board with that. If I just get a good director in there who wants to tell a good story and then bring Star Wars into it, I mean, this is proof.
Yeah.
So I'm on board for that. And because I never felt like he was saying, I don't whatever, Star Wars is stupid, I don't really care. I'm just here to make it. I felt like he was just saying, my advantage is I can focus on the story. Not bringing in all the nostalgia, bringing in all these elements that people want to see. Just focus on making a good show.
Love it.
And I'm like, that's...
Agreed.
Give him every freaking Star Wars project for the next 10 years. He's pretty old.
I kind of want him to be Dave Filoni. I don't know. But I am a big proponent. I need to come off the high, man, because I'm a big on the whimsy space adventures.
That's what I would say. The only thing of giving it over to him.
Rogue One does it, so I think he can do it.
He can do it.
But
I think with this show, he just chose not to.
Yeah, I think there is a level of lore that he doesn't, and lore and canon that he's not having to worry about by not, this is his perfect niche.
Yeah, because he can really tell the story. Yeah,
it's perfect. It's a perfect niche for him.
Yeah.
I'll say the way I felt in Andor episode 8 was comparable to how I felt during the massacre. Mm-hmm. Was comparable to how I felt in Warfare.
Wow. Yeah.
It felt the same.
Yeah, that's a great comparison.
I thought it felt exactly the same.
It was gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
I felt awful in that moment.
Yeah.
I genuinely was in tears. when the episode ended, I was like, whew, let's take a breath. And that's how I left Warfare. You know, take a breath, take a breather, just sit in this for a second. Yeah. That's just good. That's good writing. It's immersion. It brings you into it, forces you to care, and then just tears your heart out.
I mean, I don't know. The sound design, the blaster bolts, they feel like they have impact.
Yeah.
And this is all around really good.
Mm-hmm. There's so many shots where you feel like you're in that plaza with them. Like the shot with Cyril. You're following Cassian through. I mean, there's so many moments where if you're looking at it kind of unfocusing your eyes, right, there's so much happening in the background. People are getting just mowed down, but you're focusing on this character, so you feel like you're standing next to this character in that plaza. Like you're going through it with them. And that's the goal. And I think Tony Gilroy is just a master at immersing you in Star Wars, immersing you in these moments in Star Wars. And that's why the Massacre hits so hard. It's so emotional because you're watching this awful thing, but he pulls you in a way that you feel like you're following through this with the characters. You're going through this with the characters in a way. So yeah, of course it's gonna freaking tear your heart out. I don't think I've ever felt like. I don't think Star Wars has ever made me feel like Episode 8 has. I can't think of anything that I have watched that has made me feel like Episode 8 has.
You think that's worse than Mustafar?
Absolutely.
Really? I don't know if it's as emotional.
That's such a hard comparison because I have so many years of seeing that. If I were to watch it today, I don't know.
Really?
I mean, like if I was watching it today for the first time, maybe it would hit me that way.
Oh, I disagree with that.
Tell me more.
Because I think with the context of Clone Wars, that Mustafar fight is horrible. Like, it is absolutely gut-wrenching.
I mean, it's gut-wrenching. I will say, when we went and saw
7 seasons of 20 episodes of Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, good point.
And to see that all untangle right there is, to me, is pretty...
Yeah. I mean, I will say, when we rewatched Revenge of the Sith in the theater, I mean, I felt it. I mean, I think I even said that when we were talking about it. I was like, wow, it was very emotional to see it in theaters.
It still hits me today, and I know it's the trope to be like, maybe Anakin won't turn that time.
Yeah.
Dude, I feel that every time.
I definitely feel it, but, I mean, I didn't cry.
I think it's what?
In the theater, I didn't cry. I was really emotional about it, but I didn't cry.
Oh, I've cried
if I want to
times.
use it just in that way. Well, I guess I'm just talking about this recent watch. This is new and fresh, so it's so hard to compare, I think.
I think it's comparable. I'm going to give you it's comparable. I'm not going to say it's better. Or like it's more emotional. But I think it's comparable. I think it's in the conversation.
Yeah, it's absolutely in the conversation. I would absolutely say it's comparable. I would maybe say Episode 8 is a little bit more gut-wrenching, personally. Bro, I was bawling.
I don't think it is with the context, but okay.
I think the episode and how it is laid out builds so much tension over 30, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, however long it is, that it is overwhelming in a warfare kind of aspect. Like warfare, the tension throughout warfare is part of the overwhelming nature of it. This one, because they're kind of slowly building that tension, stormtroopers are coming in, like you know what they're leading to, but you're kind of feeling it build, it just really hits you hard, I think, emotionally when you finally are going through it and you're watching all these things happen. And I think that's why it just hit me really hard. That's why I was in tears. It's what I'm trying to get across, I guess, is like I'm almost desensitized to the Mustafar scene. It still makes me emotional, but I've seen that scene 100 times.
You're not comparing.
And for This one, it's new and fresh. If I've watched this one a couple more times, maybe I feel like I have a better feel for comparing the two. But I'm coming off of this literally like today. So it's just right now, it feels like very overwhelming. Does that make sense?
I mean, I understand what you're saying. I just don't like you saying, I think it's better because it's more recent. Because you're not admitting that's recency bias.
But I am. I'm saying it's hard to compare because I literally just watched it. That's why I'm saying, given some time, if I were to watch the Andor scene maybe a couple more times, I may feel differently. Right now, it's overwhelming because I still feel the like, gosh, this is gut-wrenching. So I don't feel like I'm far enough removed to really make that comparison. That's what I'll say. It probably is recency bias. Because you're right. I mean, all those seasons of Clone Wars and the investment that I put into it really makes Mustafar hit, and I felt that when we rewatched it.
Ooh, I don't know if it's up there. I might get hate for this. It's comparable also, I think, to
I think I know what you're going to say.
Ahsoka and Vader.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I think when she cuts his helmet open and she's like, I won't leave you again, and he says, then you will die.
Yeah.
I think is...
That's a huge moment in Star Wars. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty gut-wrenching.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know. It's just tough. One's definitely better executed than the other two. I'll give you that. It's definitely executed. It's written better. It's
paced better.
The tension builds better. Just generally better. I just can't in the grandiose that is Star Wars. I think that Star Wars, while it is the franchise of delayed gratification, and that we agree the prequels aren't written well, it accomplishes making Anakin's turn to the dark side such a tragedy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I'm just not ready to get rid of it. And I don't think it really... I think it's comparable. I just don't think it's clearly better than that emotionally. But it's just better executed than the whole thing.
Definitely better executed. I think I just might need to stew on it a little bit more to really make that decision. Just because it is so recent. But I will be thinking about that a lot this week.
Yeah, and then on top of that, episode 9's fantastic. It's really, really good. I love all of it.
Builds, I mean, you've got your incredible action, intense moment in 8, and 9 just builds even further off of that beautifully. Not, as far as like the action aspect of it, but just all of these characters kind of coming in. I mean, building towards this rebellion. Like, it's all just so great. Mon Mothma. Bail Organa does bother me.
Dude, that sucks. Yeah. You're right.
It really does bother me.
Yeah,
I told you I didn't know if I would care. I do care.
I called it. I was like...
You absolutely did.
People were like, why did they not... I'm like, this guy absolutely is in more of the show.
Yeah.
There's no, like... Dude, why just not write in Bail Organa has a brother? Like, I just don't understand that.
Yeah, just new character and say...
New character... Oh,
Bail's
scheduling conflict. Bail couldn't be here. That would work for me.
Yeah. Bail's off-world in Alderaan. He's dealing with something personal.
I mean, imagine the tension on top of, like, I've heard Organa, Bail's brother's people are corrupt. Does that mean he's corrupt?
Yeah.
And give this tension, maybe, and then he's not, but, like, add more to the stakes to that.
Oh, there could be some great lines, like, when they meet, like Mothma, she's like, well, I think very highly of your brother.
I know. Why not just like give him
something,
brother, cousin, something, something different,
cousin Organa.
I just don't. That's just it's too. You're right. This is a problem because I just totally forgot about it. He doesn't even feel like the other actor.
No, he doesn't.
It feels completely different. It feels drastically different. He doesn't even, like...
I mean, he kind of has the same demeanor, but, like, his performance is very different.
I was literally going to say he does not have the same demeanor.
Really?
I think it's different.
I think the fact that, like, they're both playing kind of subdued, but I think his presence is just wildly different.
I think
he's less stoic and more
he talks
kind of...
slower than that actor. Like, I mean, I just don't... Mm-hmm. Why not Organa family member, easy fix. Yeah. That's not going to make people upset.
Yeah, because it's just like it's noticeable enough, and he plays enough a part that I'm like, I just wish I had the old actor. Especially because he's in recent stuff.
Yeah,
as Bale.
It's just atrocious. I don't know why.
Yeah, it does bother me.
I don't know why it could not have been a family member.
Other than that, though, everything else is completely fine.
It's awesome. No, I really like it.
Cassian getting Mon Mothma works so well. Speech is good. I mean, Luthen stuff is interesting. I mean, he's such an interesting character. Like, he's not likable, but he is. And I think that's great. Because he's like, in a way, he's doing the right thing, but everybody thinks he's kind of slimy, but he knows he's doing the right thing, so he's like, you just got to trust me. Like, when he's talking to Mon, he's like, I know Bale's people are corrupted. You can't tell anyone about this. And she's like, I'm terrified of you right now. I'm like, that's so great, because it just adds such a unique dynamic for Luthen, because and it is that way throughout the whole show, right? Cassian's always giving him crap. Mon's always kind of skeptical of him. So he just adds a lot to this show as far as not just being kind of one note. He adds some real flavor to each of the scenes that he's in with the different characters. He has a very different relationship with each of them, and they're all unique, and I like that. It's not just I'm behind the scenes trying to, stir up the rebellion. He's kind of doing kind of slimy things in order to do it as well. So just add some complexity that I like. Mm-hmm. So his stuff in this episode I like too, especially the scene with Mon. I think he does that. Their exchange is very good to me. Yeah, the stuff with Cassian getting her off world, loved it. Really putting Mon Mothma through it. He's just murking people, and she's like, oh shoot. Which is interesting because, she does play she's obviously a politician, but not gone through that level of, not action, but she hasn't gone to that extent for the rebellion yet. So for Cassie just to be, nonchalant killing people is cool for her character too. I don't know. It's just a good episode.
It's all good.
What did you think about stuff with Bix?
Yeah, I mean, I was curious what they would do with her because she's not in the rest of the anything. It makes that line, she says to him where she's like, when this is all over, I'll come find you, just absolutely heartbreaking because he's going to die in Rogue One.
It's not where I thought they were going to go with that.
No.
I thought they were going to kill her.
Sure.
Maybe they still do. I don't know. I don't think so. I thought they were going to kill her. And that was going to be Cassian's motivation to fully embrace the rebellion.
But I think they've set Cassian up where I actually do believe now that I don't think he would. I think he would have the adverse reaction to that. Mm-hmm. I don't think, I think he would have I think he might leave. I think he might call it and be done. I think this is perfect.
This is it. I've lost everything.
It's not what I thought, but I think it's perfect. I think that it's interesting to have her make that sacrifice. I like it. Mm-hmm. I think it's great.
Yeah,
I think it's
thought it was
unique.
Great when she was
it's not tropey. It's unique.
What I said would be tropey.
Yeah, it's unique for sure.
Yeah,
and I think just the way, because they haven't changed his character that drastically, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And I was my complaint about season 1. I would totally believe if she was killed by the Empire, he would just be done. Like, he would probably get revenge on that one guy. And then be like, I'm done. I'm not doing this anymore. I've lost too much. I think that's where his character's at. Mm-hmm.
So this is actually a way for him to stick into the rebellion.
Right.
Because, I really love the line where she said, I'm going to make this choice for both of us.
Yeah.
I was like, God,
I think it's great.
Great.
You got anything else?
No, I think it's incredible. I think I've been feeling that I really like this show this season. I mean, I've sang the praises of season 1. I love it. This season so far, I've really liked it. I'd say loved moments. these 3 episodes, I love this season. I think it's incredible. And it just elevates everything that we've been watching even more.
Like, yeah.
I would say up to this point, I've liked it. Maybe haven't loved it, loved moments.
Yeah.
Now I love it. I think it just makes it all so much better. So I think it just brings it all up for me.
I'm with you. I mean, I've been critical of season 1, like I said. Episode 8 brings character development, all the characters and all the development we see across season 1 into season 2, and then brings it all to a head in episode 8.
Yeah.
And it makes season 1 matter. Most shows, season 1's done. We're not, well, it builds off season 1's back beautifully.
Yeah.
And it makes me like season 1 a lot, which is awesome. Well, to your point of, because I know where people are going. Like,
yeah,
I love that. I just love so much that Cassian's still a douchebag. Like, I love that he's still selfish and self-serving in a way, in his own way. Mm-hmm. I love that. I don't know. I love it. And it's like, I just literally my complaint was like, I don't buy the character development. Like he now he cares, and now he wants to fight the rebellion. Like, that doesn't make any sense. No. Now he wants to join the rebellion. It doesn't make any sense to me. And people are like, well, he saw what happened in the prisons of the Empire. It's like, I still don't buy it. I get it now. And you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
Maybe I was right. Yeah, I was right in season 1. I'm just kidding. No, you weren't supposed to. He's not supposed to change that much.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, holy crap. It's just, anyway, let's spend 10 minutes talking about this surprise segment I have for you.
Yeah.
Is that all you got?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm satisfied.
What are your thoughts on Harry Potter? As if, the movies.
Ooh. We haven't really talked about Harry Potter at all.
Not at all.
I love Harry Potter. Harry Potter's great. I've watched it as a kid. It's fun. I mean, I don't have like the deep love that a lot of people do for it. Like, I would say I have like a deep love for Star Wars or for like Lord of the Rings. Some people have that same level for Harry Potter. I don't have that for Harry Potter. But I mean, I've watched through those movies more times than I can count. Like, I do really love the world, the franchise. I think it's really fun, and I like the characters a lot. Hogwarts Legacy was fun. So that was a great game. Yeah, I really like those movies. Now, I don't know how I feel about them rebooting in a TV show. We did talk about the casting a little bit that one time. I'm fine with the casting of it, but I don't necessarily see the reason, because I think those movies are beloved. So I don't know why we need to retell that. But yeah, I think the movies are really good. I think, well, some of them more than others, but it's fun. I like it. I'll watch it consistently every year or two. I'll go through all the movies, have fun time. Can't wait to go to what is it at Disney? Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
See that one day. But I wouldn't say like
Disney,
I'm a
Universal.
Not Disney, Universal, yeah. I'm not a hardcore fan, but I'm a fan.
Yeah, I want to talk to you about the casting. So you're pretty familiar story-wise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite movie?
I really like Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay, that's my favorite.
I think it's gonna be Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Yeah. Goblet of Fire is really fun though. But I think Prisoner of Azkaban is my favorite.
Are you familiar with Half-Blood Prince? Half-Blood.
Yeah, I've seen it, yeah.
Okay, and then on top of that, are you familiar Order of the Phoenix, when like Harry looks into Snape's mind?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then do you remember things about Snape's childhood in Deathly Hallows Part 1? Or no, 2. Deathly Hallows Part 2, when they like...
It's getting specific.
When they like see his memories. Is it like what it was like
refresh my memory on that.
When he's like bullied and stuff?
Oh, yes, okay. yes, yeah.
Do you think because of the time period, they're going to make Sirius, James, and Padfoot when they bully him like a race thing?
Oh, man.
I don't know how you get around it. At least without implying it. I don't think you can, because I think that makes them terrible people. Makes them the worst people ever.
Yeah, because the time period. I don't know if there's a way to not do that. I didn't think about that.
I'm sure there's a way to do it. I mean,
Unless
I
they don't
guess
adapt
Sirius could, Sirius
Yeah.
could be black or whatever, or
True.
not white.
Unless they don't adapt that, and they change it.
That's a bad move.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's a world where they do that to avoid that.
Sure. I don't think it's like enough. Definitely don't. I'm like, shouldn't have casted, but it is. I'm curious just because of the time period and it'll be a lot of bullying and I'm like, unless they would have to recast some of the Marauders.
I would think so.
Or not recast, but race swap or whatever you want to call it, because if 3 white guys are picking on a.
Then it's for the time period. It's not gonna. You can't just dance around that and pretend like it's not. Yeah. So I think if they recast race swap one of the Marauders, 2 of the Marauders to also be of color or something like that, maybe it will. Then they can not lean into that aspect of it, and they can just make it normally how it is. So that'd probably be the easiest fix. If they don't though, and they don't address it, that's not gonna feel. It's not going to feel right. But I don't know. That is a good point. Because I have seen a lot about things like that.
I don't know. It's something I was thinking about. Yeah. And I'm like, how are they going to handle that?
Yeah.
Because I don't... you got to do it in a way where they're just bullies. Like, they're not racist.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to really lean into that,
They could. There's a world.
James is not it's tough, man, because James they picked on Snape and they were rude to him and they were wrong.
Yeah.
But are you gonna put that on Harry's dad?
Yeah.
I bet you who would they? Probably not Wormtail. You think they would recast race swap Sirius?
Maybe.
His last name's Black. Does that mean anything?
No.
I've listened to some people this morning talk about I don't like how Black Adam and Black Panther they're
Oh, I see.
So I don't know
if it would be in the same.
Yeah, if that's maybe not. Maybe not. Especially because
do we have Harry's casting yet?
No, maybe. Interesting. That would be a.
Have you seen the stuff about the theory about Snape is Harry's?
Yeah.
I've seen people be like, if they cast Harry as African American or black, that it puts more validity into that theory. I have heard people say that.
I would almost be down to not cast Harry white.
Oh, I would be too.
Because I think it needs to be not Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, so let's do something different.
Yeah.
Why not? I'd be completely fine with that.
I think I would too.
Because Snape is also a man of color. I think people might think
it will definitely confirm that theory.
They're going to be like, this is their way of confirming it. But that would be a way for you to recast Sirius Black too. Not recast. Yeah. So that would be one way.
Yeah, that was my little Harry Potter question. I
That's
wrote
an
that down a minute
thought.
ago.
Yeah, I wouldn't even thought about that. Because I don't know how much do we know about what they're adapting? It's pretty true, right?
So they're
just rebooting it and true to the books. So
this isn't going to be a problem till Order of the Phoenix, but
yeah. Do you think each season will be a book?
Yeah.
That's a lot of content.
Yeah.
This show's really got a bang for them to get through all of that.
Yeah.
And the problem I think it's going to run into is because the movies are so beloved and people already love them, you got a tough order to stay relevant in, I think, the Potter community or whatever they're called. Potheads.
Do you not think enough people just like stuff, though? because they get it. People like to be like people. The mass majority of people love to hate. I disagree. I think majority of people love things unabashedly.
Yeah, and I don't think necessarily people will hate this. I think people may watch this and go, "Why? I'm just getting more of I'm getting the same of what we've already gotten done well. So I'm just not as interested in it."
Yeah.
You're probably going to get your big Harry Potter fans who are going to watch it because they love it and they're just excited to get more content and do something maybe different with it. But if it's true to the books, then I would think the general audience is probably just going to be like, we've got the movies. Do I want to sit through a season of this? I don't know. And maybe I'm being too skeptical about it. I could be. But it's just a thought I had because they said it's going to be kind of a true adaptation. I'm like, we've already gotten a pretty good adaptation.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like if the Harry Potter movies weren't good and people were clamoring for more, like a good adaptation, I could see it. But I don't know. I've thought that.
Something that, yeah.
Like how interested am I? Sure.
That's a good point. I'm pivoting in a different direction.
That's fine.
I was thinking about Star Wars theory, Naya, and people in our comments were, be like, oh, he just rage baits. Yeah. And this is my perspective, or our perspective. Mm-hmm. We don't post anything on the podcast that's not our legitimate opinion. We don't post anything just to have views or just to be different, these things generally feel. We say them. And people think we set up cameras just to make one point. No, we're having a long conversation, and it's a point we make. I clip it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would Star Wars theory... Why would he need to rage bait?
Yeah.
He has the hugest Star Wars community on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
What does he need... What advantage... why would you think he strategically has to rage bait for engagement?
To capture what? More of the Star Wars audience? He has it all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he has the fan base behind him.
He's got
already.
the largest one.
So it's like, what would rage baiting benefit him?
Oh, he's got a huge community. People are like, yeah, to boost his engagement. He's got 3 million YouTube. I'm sure his engagement's fine.
Yeah, I'm sure he's doing great.
Just I see what they mean, but just from our negative stuff, it never does as well as when we're being positive.
Positive, yeah. Yeah.
We post the negative stuff because it's our opinion, and we're trying to be authentic. And if you disagree with us and it angers you to a point where we're not the audience we're trying to reach. You know,
and that's okay.
We're posting our complete, unabashed opinion.
Yeah.
Because we want the audience. We want to build a true to form audience.
Yeah. And just have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
And
why
you know what? If it's subjective, that's okay.
Just praising something to praise it is just as bad as hating something to hate it.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
So half the time it's super. I feel really hypocritical.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot. I mean, I agree. I don't let some of these things affect me as much as they affect him. Yeah. But he's darn it, earned the right to say what he wants to say and have his peace.
Yeah. This is his life.
He has, in a way, maybe arguably revitalized the Star Wars community.
Yeah.
And I don't know if people remember, but he was very positive on the sequels.
Yeah.
When they came out.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he started his channel.
Yeah.
What? He has been I remember watching him talk about season 1 of Andor and really liking it.
Yeah.
So I
don't really understand.
I don't know. It's what people are doing any better, making fun, and I'm yeah, it's a genuine. I think every time he has a genuine. I also feel this way when people are like, I've done this too, but I think I give people the flowers, which is when anytime someone picks out a point, I'm like, yeah, people aren't gonna like that. Mm-hmm. And I think, the very fact that you're able to do that speaks to something.
Yeah.
The fact that stood out to you as much as it did does speak to something. You know, like I watch a lot of people like, this is gonna make people mad. I'm like, the fact that you can pick up on that, and it's not just you just loving it, and you're like, how could you not like this? Speaks to that there is something with that feels out of place to you, that you noticed it. Therefore, you cannot get upset when people complain about those points. Because, you know, add 5 of them up over an episode. You know, like, every time I hear someone say, like, people are going to complain about this, I know. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's a genuine question. It could be, there might be a logic, like, them speaking French on Gorman.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. That is, you know, that's different.
And
And you're picking it out because it's a choice and it's different.
Yeah.
People are allowed to be like, you know what? I have the dumbest nitpick of all for this show. They're actually cussing, using cuss words.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it's like, there are Star Wars
cuss words that we can use.
Blast it, slag it. Like, oh no, that's Batman Beyond.
Yeah.
The blast it being one of them. You know, Sleemo. Like, they use these terms all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I think I would just prefer it if you used the cuss words for the universe, you know? But who cares?
Stop using cuss words, guys.
But, you know, no. But it doesn't not feel a little out of place at times.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah.
Like, it does take
just
me
because
out.
I've watched so much Star Wars.
Yeah.
That I'm so attuned to it that it feels out of place.
Yeah.
It kind of like, your brain just kind of like, for a split second catches it. It's like, oh, yeah. It does feel out.
Yeah. And the fact that people can pick it out means, yeah, it's out of place.
It's different, yeah.
Whether it affects you or not, that's a different question.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's going to affect more people than others. Yeah, I think that's such a tricky conversation, too. Just, I think, like, in the space. Because the moment you don't have the same opinion as someone, you're rage baiting, or you're just trying to be different, things like that. I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I think it's just kind of like, I think if you are true to yourself and you just continue to be authentic, then you're going to have the audience that you want. And I think Star Wars Theory is trying to do that too. I just don't see a reason why. Yeah, he's got the largest he's
built such a community. It's like the fact that he doesn't like one thing.
He's trying to create Star Wars content true to form. Like, he's trying to just be a light in this space.
Yeah,
why does he need to rage bait?
That's a great point. Star Wars Theory will critique, yes, but also create.
Absolutely.
And he's going to open up his projects for you to critique them.
Yes. So he's
rage bait?
Yeah.
I don't. Whatever.
Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make. It's just. Honestly, I think it's just because he has such an audience that it's like, oh, if you don't agree with me, that you're a terrible person because you're convincing all these other people not to agree.
Yeah.
That's their fault.
Yeah.
That's not on him.
No, it's not. He's just giving his opinion.
Yeah.
It's your responsibility to properly take that opinion and digest it and then figure out what to do with it.
Sure.
It's not on him.
It cracks me up to see accounts where they're like 3,000 followers. They're like, Star Wars Theory is the biggest idiot. I'm like, there are 3 million people that disagree with you.
Yeah. So how do you feel?
You are 100% in the minority right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, he's done a ton for Star Wars.
Absolutely.
So I don't.
Put some respect on his name. Yeah. We've got to get Theory Sabers, dude. We have to get Theory Sabers.
Chill out. People are allowed to have opinions.
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah, they are. I'd be eyeballing those Theory Sabers. I want to spend the money.
Yeah.
We should do it.
That's why we're doing. That's why we're glazing him right now.
No, that's not where I was going with that at all. Next May the 4th, we'll have our Theory Sabers.
Yeah. There's some cool ones.
Yeah, there's some cool ones.
But all right, yeah. I'm good. I'm tired.
I'm tired too. You know one thing that I did find out?
What?
We'll end on this. So I don't think it's confirmed yet, but it's seriously hitting a lot of news outlets. A24 is developing an Elden Ring film. You know who's directing it?
J.R.R. Martin. J.R.R. Martin?
No.
No, G. Is it G.R.R. Martin?
George R.R. Martin?
George R.R. Martin. Sorry.
No. So that's the
He
Game of
copied
Thrones.
Tolkien. That's all I can remember.
So he did work on the game.
Yeah, I knew that.
He's not developing it. Well, he may have a part in it. I don't know about that. Alex Garland, who did Warfare and Civil War, is set to direct it. I think that's really interesting. Not necessarily that Alex Garland is directing it, but I think A24 making an Elden Ring movie is really interesting.
If there's a studio to be able to adapt a video game, well, I would think it'd be them, but...
Specifically Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I think if it was like a bigger studio, they'd probably try to go for more like fantasy spectacle. I think A24 might dial it in a little bit more and go for the real vibe of Elden Ring, like a little darker, a little more gothic fantasy. Have you seen The Green Knight?
Yeah, I like it.
I think it could be a similar vibe to that, maybe a little bit more epic than that, not so kind of fairy tale-esque.
With less semen.
I can't believe you just said that. Yes. Hopefully with less semen. That just derailed my thought completely. I was hoping like that vibe maybe, but a little bit more epic in action and scale.
I mean, yeah, he's 1 for 2 right now, you know?
He's 1 for 2?
Warfare.
You're going to say Civil War's a miss? Have you come down on that more?
I mean, I don't...
I think it's a hit.
No.
I think he's 2 for 2.
2 for... You think he hit at every... You think they're comparable?
I don't think they're comparable, but I think they're both hits. I think they're both positive.
What's a hit? 5 and up? Rating-wise?
Yeah, that would be positive.
Sure. I think it's a 6 out of 10.
Well, then that's a positive review. So I think, yeah, he's 2 for 2. I think if you didn't like Civil War, I would say he's 1 and 2.
Okay, let's put it like this. When you name projects to be excited, this director is directing Elden Ring, and here are the projects to be excited about that this guy's done. I would not put Civil War in that conversation.
I would.
I know.
I liked it more than you. So I would. Now, I wouldn't say those projects are a good reason to him directing Elden Ring. Like, those are really different. So I don't know how that's going to work. I'm sure he's done other stuff. Maybe something smaller. I don't know. But his 2 main projects being like war films is a weird to shift to Elden Ring. So I wouldn't use that. But if I were to say he's a good director as far as he's got 2 films wide release, I would say they're both good movies. So yeah, there's reason to think he could do a 3rd one well. But I like Civil War more than you. So, but I think if you, what do you rate Civil War? Like 6 out of 10?
Yeah.
That's positive. It's not the most positive. It's not great, but it's positive. He's 2 for 2, man. I just thought that was interesting. I'm excited to see Elden Ring in a new light. We're getting a new game, Night Rain. That's coming out. Yeah.
Another Elden Ring game?
This month.
I don't have time.
You should look it up. It's Elden Ring Night Rain.
I need the podcast to pay for my bills to play video games.
To play video games. Then we can do the podcast full time and like stream and like.
Ooh.